So my team and I have been kind of, really on the front end, I would say, of a lot of the marketing challenges that companies are facing right now with coronavirus. And we kind of talked about recently some of the most important improvements and changes people need to make. And I want to first set the stage by like things that everybody kind of should know in terms of where we are in the current state of things. So in terms of the current state, I like this quote. I'm sure you've been seeing this passed around, but may you live in interesting times. It's kind of relevant right now. Work's become very virtual. Everybody is working virtually from home. Eyeballs are on screens more so than they are remotely. Like face-to-face working with each other. Everybody's very unsure of the future. We don't know when this is going to end. And a lot of people are frozen scared as a result of that. But on the flip side of that, I've seen a lot of people banding together, though virtual, and there's a lot of opportunity on that side as well. In terms of some of the kind of facts that I came across that I thought were some of the most important things to present, this is two charts that Neil Patel recently posted relative to the industry from a traffic to websites and conversions through websites standpoint. And it's by industry, which was one of the challenges I was struggling with us being in digital marketing and working with a lot of various industries. But I thought this was extremely interesting to see like the massive decline in traffic across various industries, as well as conversion across similar industries. And then the upticks in some of them, like you can see finance, food, and healthcare, as well as media, which I'm sure everybody can understand why that's happening. And then conversion from that standpoint as well. So just in terms of level setting, the reason why I wanted to show this is because there's this quote Warren Buffett said, but be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. What we are seeing is that since there's this massive shift in things like people not being able to book hotels right away for right now because there's nowhere to go, or let's say book a flight to go somewhere, traffic, ads and ad buying for those types of terms that maybe would be used to sell those types of services or commodities or even assets are cheap, and there's opportunity for advertising as a result. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we get to innovation. But one of the things that we wanted to make sure of is that we tie it back to Marketing 101 and the basics of marketing. So Jennifer is my director of marketing. She's on the call with me now here too. We talked about things in terms of just Marketing 101 is the right person, the right time, right place, and right message, and making sure that you get that all right in what you're saying to the right person at the right time in the right location. So from the right person standpoint, we'll dig into each one of these, but from the right person standpoint, who's your ideal audience? What's their age, gender? Specifically, mindset right now keeps coming up, and we'll talk through that. What just happened to them and try and really frame that out. The right time when they're open to the awareness, consideration, and decision. What day of the week, time of the day are they right now engaged and active? The right place, like where are they right now? I mean, you're not physically going to Pyramid Club and meeting with people. You're actually, virtually engaging with people. So where are those virtual environments? And then right message, what's the right message to say to them? And what specifically do you not want to say as well? So from a right person standpoint, I mean, what we're talking about is really knowing your audience. And this is like a basics 101 type of thing. We're talking about it all the time with our clients, but knowing your personas, as we call them. Like I said, things about their title, what they're typically thinking day to day, what they're trying to get accomplished on their day-to-day chores and work. Getting their mindset right now is very important. You think about the difference of if you're servicing like restaurant owners versus servicing an online streaming service, the difference between those two types of businesses and what they're going through right now is tremendous. So there's opportunity on one side, there's negativity on another side, and you as the marketer need to really think about their emotional state and think about what you want to say, not say to that specific person. So we call it getting in their mindset. And then thinking about specifically where are they most active right now. So if you take that person, where are they really engaging online? What are they doing? Where are their eyeballs at the current moment becomes very important in terms of paying attention to that.
And just something to add there, Ben. Hi, everybody. It's Jennifer. Hi, everyone. Ben, if you could go back one slide, just something to
Yeah,
add to that mention is that a lot of people have already done a persona build out, if you want to call it that, and you've already worked it maybe recently or maybe a year ago. But obviously, in recent times, your personas may have changed. So you need to make sure that you go back and revisit them. And it's always just good practice in general to revisit every 9 to 12 months as a whole, because, you know, technology's changing. There's other things out there, not just this immediate fear of coronavirus and, you know, everybody working remote and things of that nature. So keep that in mind as you do it, that what was 3 or 4 or 6 weeks ago, considered the norm, may have indeed changed slightly or completely from what it was.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, Jennifer. Right time side of things. So there's some immediate marketing related actions that go with like the current moment. Specifically, like the workday has changed. There's no real 9 to 5. People aren't commuting into work. The normal routine is completely disrupted. So you want to take that into consideration in terms of your messaging and time of day. Now is not a good time for a lot of people. I know when I call somebody or I'm calling on, you know, even clients, you know, one of my first questions is always, is now a good time? You really want to be sensitive to that when they might have kids running around at home or they're trying to take some downtime and all of that. People do have more downtime. We're seeing a lot of engagement on social media and people active on those on social media and social networks. Check your campaigns and remove anything offensive and obsolete. If there's one takeaway that I'd love to communicate here, it's that. I'll show you some examples of really bad ones, but you know, you want to adapt really quickly to what's happening. Double check things like blog posts, email campaigns, social media posts that you might have scheduled to go out, and just make sure that what you're saying is, number one, not offensive, and number two, not obsolete, you know. Communicate that you're alive and kicking. Another thing, right now, we are telling everybody, make sure that like your clients know that you're operational. So you're seeing things like people putting up notice and sending out email. The email is getting a lot of, honestly, sometimes it's getting a little drowned out with the amount of people saying, you know, here's our situation with COVID. But the more you can communicate, the more you can really engage your current audience and make sure that they know that you're alive and kicking and able to help them. And anything that they need to know relative to you now. I'll show you an example of that for one of our clients where we communicated need to know information directly through their website. You may want to make sure that you're looking at that for you guys specifically. Jennifer, anything to add here?
Nope, I think you got it all.
All right, cool. So then right place. So what's the right platform to engage? This, I mean, there's the most disruption right now for this because you don't have the opportunity to do a presentation live like this might be in Pyramid Club. We're forced to use or replace face-to-face and use the digital channels to get in front of people. So of course, with that, there's a lot higher engagement on digital. People are at home on email and social. If there's 2 things they're doing, they're on email and social right now. So you want to engage with them, use a virtual platform, set your background as cool as you want it. You know, the things that people are already doing using Zoom and technologies like that, but that is a replacement for the face-to-face. Now is a great opportunity to build a brand stance on social. So choose the right channel based on the audience and your metrics. What are people engaging with you on now? What do you feel like long-term is a platform for you to communicate? And jump in and join on those conversations on that channel. You know, rather than go really wide and like try and engage on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and all of them, just pick one that's going to be the one that you're going to engage mostly and you're going to commit to. Be on that channel, engage your audience on it, make sure it's the one where you're going to get the engagement, but you're also going to be able to communicate. We'll talk about this, but we're seeing a lot of opportunity for video, getting your face in front of people, leveraging video. And so YouTube or even video recorded and posted to Facebook or LinkedIn is not a bad strategy for most businesses. Engage with the online groups that you do have access to. So leveraging things like associations like you have Pyramid Club, coaching groups. If you're part of a network of groups that you know everybody already trusts each other, that's really good for you to market to, because right now I think trust is one of those things that everybody's in their own little circle, having their same conversations with the same type of people. And you want to leverage those groups to make sure that you're communicating your marketing and your messaging to them. And using hashtag channels for your industry and industry-specific marketing in general is huge, is a great opportunity. As an We have a company in New York City that we work with, in terms of doing digital marketing and lead generation for them. And they're part of a group of HVAC companies that they are now embracing that group to make sure that they get their message out into that group of what's happening specifically in New York City, because not all of them are local. So they're able to kind of use that platform or use that group. In terms of right message, so here you want to really stay relevant. One of the things that we're telling a lot of people is to try and embrace and support their current audience, not necessarily just talking to new audience. That is definitely a part of it, but really embracing and supporting the trust circle that you already have. Seek to help them, not to sell them. Engage and reply to them on social media when they're engaging with you, and really try and be helpful. Everybody's kind of going through what they're going through right now together. We're all in the same boat. So the more you can be helpful and lend a hand, offer advice, strategy relevant to you and your business, how others can be rethinking of the situation, and try really not to sell them too hard on anything tactful is really helpful, and really a good methodology for the next couple of weeks or months until this all subsides. I mean, we talk about that in terms of building a following, building an audience, investing now over the next couple of weeks so that 3 months from now, the people that you've helped through this will look back at you and see you as a trusted resource or advisor. Consider bite-sized digestible content like video. So again, we're trying to replace that face-to-face. We're all really isolated. One way to break through that is to allow video with face-to-face style. So go live on Facebook, post videos to YouTube and title it appropriate so you can get found for certain questions that might be relevant for you. Use that as an opportunity to, again, blast it out on social or on email. These are not like brand new, amazing things that are out there. They're just, you're forced to rely on them a lot more than you did before because of the fact that this is the only way to get in front of your audience right now. There's an opportunity too for really great relevant content. I mean, I think we talk about thought leadership all the time. We talk about educating people on what it is that you do. Now is the time you can still continue to do that. Again, using video, using blogs, articles, white papers, whatever it is. But there are a lot of people digesting a lot of information. A lot of it, in my opinion, and I think you can see this in the news articles, is just very negative. So there's an opportunity to cut through that by giving some kind of relief through education, feeling and emotion, or even just laughter. So we're also saying stay dialed in. There's a term people keep saying, I got this email and it was super tone deaf. Matt, I think you used this in our conversation this morning, and I heard it and I was thinking we're saying the same thing. But people are going to remember your character when all of this settles. How you've acted through this whole thing. What did you demonstrate online, in your emails, in your conversations with people? Were you hard selling them? Were you listening, understanding them before you acted? So really try and make sure you're dialed into the current situation and how people feel before you start trying to sell them on anything or market to them. We're saying give out lifeboats and life jackets. Just be a go-giver. There's a really good book about being a go-giver. And it's all about just throwing out those lifeboats, making sure that people are being helped so that later on, they see you as a trusted advisor through this. Another really good tip, one that I think you should definitely take away, do right away. If you do it right now, great. But be aware of your competition. Take your top competitors, sign up for their newsletter, follow them on social media, read anything that they've updated on their website relative to COVID that you may need to adapt yourself, and really try and get an understanding of where are they doing what they should be doing and when are they doing it. So you can get a pulse on the things that you might need to be aware of as well. Mainly because there's a lot of innovation. So if you look at what the competitors are doing and you try and start thinking about what the market and your personas are up to, you have an opportunity to take the challenge and innovate around it. The picture that you're seeing here is a pizzeria in Dunedin, Florida, and they realize everybody's at home, with kids, looking for something to do. So they still need to sell. They still want to do takeout to keep the business open. But they created something crafty and innovative to be able to allow people to make their own pizza at home, giving them all the ingredients. Terms of it, so I love the quote, do what you can. It actually comes from a business coach that I work with. He said it to us last week, do what you can, and that's all you can do. And I love it because it means that sometimes you need to innovate around the things that you're capable of doing right now. Things like virtual, you need to replace the face-to-face. So do what you can around that. So we've made some recent innovations I wanted to call out. These are things that should give you guys some examples that maybe you can do in your own business. But we have a real estate client that markets a lot online. And I'll show you a screenshot of this, but we allow for live virtual tours via FaceTime. Ever since we literally just changed the text on their calls to action, their conversion rate's gone up by about 30 to 40% in terms of number of leads that are coming in, because people now have an opportunity to engage with that business where they would never go there before because they don't want to get sick and they don't want to be out of their houses. We took trade show attendance and converted it basically to a big email campaign. Jennifer was one of the ones that was huge in advocating for this, and basically we have a that sells lab equipment. They were about to go to a trade show got canceled. We reached out, got the list of attendees to that trade show, converted into a HubSpot email campaign, blasted out with that email campaign relevant information and relevant email, and they saw so much engagement from that they literally said, I probably would not have had that many conversations if I actually went. This may have been even a better way for us to do this in the first place. So that's not a once and done. That again is something that we're going to evolve around on trade shows. And then webinars and conferences, I mean, this is not like rocket science, but something like this where you're taking an opportunity to have a webinar or lead a conference to engage your current audience is an opportunity to engage and innovate. I mentioned the pizzeria giving the supplies. There's a distiller in PA that's making hand sanitizer. I don't know if you guys saw this. That's a super cool idea. They have all the ingredients and the ability to do it. It hits exactly their audience because that's what their audience is challenged. They can't come out to the establishment, and they're capable of doing it, doing what they can. There's a local restaurant here that's donating a meal for every meal that's purchased, doing takeout, of course, but they're trying to do this humanitarian, do good, help others, and donating a meal to a family that's in need because maybe there's a job loss or something like that. So I wanted to bring up some not so good examples, just again, not to be negative, but just show you things that you may not want to do. So all the way from big brand to kind of local and social. So KFC was running at the same time as all this happening, an ad that's like finger licking good and people licking their fingers. Definitely tone deaf to what's going on right now. Had to shut that completely down. I don't know if you guys have anything relevant like that, but that's the type of stuff you want to watch for. I literally got this email this morning. It's a birthday offer for March birthdays. The party must be held in March, and it's for a birthday party for my son whose birthday is in March. Check your campaigns. I mean, this should never have gone out. And it's literally just canned content that was being sent out basically probably around birthdays. This is, again, completely tone deaf. You know, you got a social media icon who's posting with a mask on and trying to get popularity around it. And it just is, it feels icky, it is icky. So examples of not to do, these are some good examples of things that I loved and have seen recently. And there's a lot more of these popping up. This is educating. So this is our federal credit union client and a pop-up that comes up on the site talking about COVID-19, specifically changes to branch hours that all of the customers need to be aware of, a new deal that they have on 0% APR for 6 months line of credit, and then issues around appointment scheduling and things that people might be concerned with around being able to come in and meet. MHS Lyft, another client of ours, and they posted this out to social. We weren't even involved in it. I just saw it and loved it, mainly because it's not just saying, hey, we're here, we're up and we're running, but there's this note here that our technicians are not going to sign a work order. Basically they're just going to ask for a name. And so there's a way that they're changing their process to accommodate from the situation, giving them a reason to reach out and engage their current audience. This one from Marriott went all around Twitter this morning. It was posted a lot. Yesterday, I think it was when it was created. But the CEO delivers like this really heartfelt message and an update in Marriott. And towards the end of it, he's talking about how sentimental he is, that like their mission is to get people up and traveling again. And we will see a day when we're out of our houses and experiencing the world the way Marriott allows them to. And it's like, oh, it hits you real deep when you hear it. And he's going through a challenge because he's dealing with it at the top level. He's also going through some personal things in his life and treatment that makes it even more heartfelt. But again, video, human, face-to-face, personal, delivers on a message to the current audience and really brings people together in terms of trust. This is a lawyer friend of mine who posted out to LinkedIn, anybody that needs help, no cost conversation, paying it forward and trying to help. I love that. It's really easy. All you had to do was post it to LinkedIn with a picture. Yes, it's marketing, but it does not feel tacky. It feels like I'm here to help. And then this is just an example of the scheduling a virtual tour. I mean, we literally added the call to action in here as a radio button for a virtual tour, and changed some of the verbiage in terms of making sure that the email said that there would be live virtual tours. So all that said, I mean, the thing I want to make sure everybody does is stay positive too. Like I said, there's a lot of negativity out there. You have an opportunity to be positive in your marketing, be kind of that ray of light of that storm. And I think if you do that, you'll end up building an audience, building trust with your audience, and be there for them as a trusted person when all this settles down. So with that, I'll open it up. Any questions that you guys have, anything that you're seeing or want to add, kind of keep it as an open discussion.
Yeah, am I unmuted?
Yes.
All right. Array of light. Great presentation, by the way. Really good points.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to just sort of add, I think you kind of mentioned it anyway, is that we all have these resources at our fingertips and have for a long time. It's just a question of now we're relying on them in a much different way. So it's now how to have a system where we can utilize some of these resources.
Yeah, right on. I mean, so far as what Jennifer said about and we said this, that's why we said, like, has marketing even changed? Because the reason the title is, or has it, is because nothing's really changed as far as the way that we do this. The situation and circumstance has changed. So you still need to just go through that process the same way and leverage the tools that are at your disposal that you may have had already. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And to that point, a lot of these tools, if you check them out, some things that you might have looked at in the past that right at that point in time may have seen, outside of your budget, or maybe something that just didn't seem feasible at that time. A lot of them are changing their promotions right now. Again, Ben had mentioned HubSpot. We did the HubSpot email for that one partner, but I did just receive an email this morning that HubSpot is removing all limits on the number of email sends for partners. They used to have, like, depending upon what package you're under or things of that nature, they would kind of curtail the number of email sends. But for the next 90 days, they're going to be releasing that. So there are those adjustments that every platform, especially the virtual ones and the digital platforms that are out there, are making adjustments to their offerings so that they can better serve your needs. Their goal and their hopes, obviously, just like yours and just like Ben has been stating, is that they kind of get you, I don't want to say sucked in, but they help you to become that kind of a loyal customer where you can then feel like after these 90 days or after whatever their promotion that they're offering, that you'd be willing to continue to use them for your needs because you're already seeing the results. So they're using their expertise and their platforms to be able to help you in the short run. But in the long run, their goal, obviously, just like yours would be, is you're providing that information, but you're hoping that in the long run, they will come back to you when things are better and things are, quote unquote, back to normal. And people can, go about going to the office and things of that nature. But still use the tools because the tools are there and the tools work.
So does anybody have anything else in terms of things that they're seeing? I mean, Ed and Rob, I know you guys are on the video front. Definitely, some opportunity to leverage video. Is there anything that you guys want to add in terms of things that you're seeing that might be helpful?
So one of the big things that we've seen is that virtual aspect. So the virtual home tours, maybe turning commencements or graduations at both the university and high school level to more into these virtual events. both, either through live stream or pre-recorded content. So that's something that we've seen a lot of. Right now for us, it's really very much a pivoting, trying to figure out exactly, the work that we're doing right now. Is it stuff that can be pushed back? Is it stuff that's completely canceled? Is it stuff that has to now go online versus actually going out and filming it? There's a number of different changes that we've seen. But yeah, I think one of the big things personally, what we've seen is the fact that we can even benefit from, working on this downtime, on our own marketing, on building more of a library, all of that, because while times are a little bit slow right now, we have that extra added time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Ben, one of the things that's been helpful for us is to send something physical. So if you know somebody's address, send them a card, a small gift. Even if they're not in the office, they'll get it when they return. And so that could be a nice way of just welcoming them back to the office and give them something a little bit more physical and tangible to hold in their hands.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Actually saw an email recently that I guess it came from the United States Post Office that mail is okay and, safe. That would be the only concern that I would have around sending something now, is everybody is very guarded about what comes in their house. But,
Yeah, I'm thinking more of their business.
Yeah.
Kind of a delayed benefit,
like, welcome
I guess.
back. You're here.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Very cool. So Chelsea, not to call you out, but one of the things that I know that Google is big on right now too is making sure that everybody updates their, when are they available? When is their business open? Is their location up to date? Do you have anything to weigh in on there?
Yeah, so they, I put a LinkedIn post this Saturday mainly. So I work in the world of kind of online reviews. So they made an announcement this last Saturday that really affected my business. For the moment, they are allocating all resources to kind of what Philly's doing, life essential priorities for businesses, i.e. updating hours, are you closed, maybe are you virtual, phone numbers and everything. And with that, they are reducing the manpower that monitors other things. So right now, if you are updating your hours, making changes to your website, anything like that, that will be accelerated through. However, they ask for your patience or if you're trying to update other items in your posting, and they probably won't be reflected. For example, if you're trying to add photos, they won't be posted onto your account. If someone leaves your review, it's kind of held up, similar to if someone puts up a photo, it's held in a library for when there's more time and more manpower, those updates will be published through. They've made it really simple for you to go in and update your account. When you log into Google My Business, they now actually have a red banner across the top with the COVID 19 updates, and you can click it, it takes you to things that most businesses are updating for you to be able to double check and make sure that that's kind of covered through. Another thing that they're doing is they're now sending out weekly, marketing campaigns, for businesses to be able to kind of, Matt, what you were saying, take this downtime and maybe learn a little bit more about Google Ads. They did have kind of courses that you could take that were available for free, but they're going a little bit deeper with what they're offering for business owners to be able to really understand all the advantages that Google My Business can offer.
See, man, that's a nice thing.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that. It's awesome stuff. Anybody have any other questions or points to add?
I'm a local insurance agent here in Delaware County. So I've been trying to take this time to develop some YouTube programs and try to get them posted. I've only gotten one done so far. I'm hoping to get into a basic production, but I mean, basically I rely a lot on face-to-face, and it's usually like dealing with realtors and car dealerships to bring in sourcing in some of my potential clients. So a lot of that's just like come to a halt right now. So Is there any specific tips that I should probably try to focus on aside from that, or particular videos that you might recommend I should focus on?
So let me just make sure I understand. So you're trying to create content on YouTube specific for your marketing, or as like a digital download type educational course? What did I miss that?
Basically, I was going to be doing like free educational videos on small snippets on certain things. Like the first video is going to be like how to shop for insurance, difference between whole life and term life, with difference between certain particular coverages, to try to do that whole giving. I forget the name of the book that you had mentioned earlier.
Go Giver.
But,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So first thing I would do is whatever question it is that you're thinking that you can answer for these people, search for it and see what comes up and do the homework on the results that you're getting.
Okay.
Especially in the format in which you think you're going to deliver it, like on YouTube. Because if you search Google, Google wants to show video and it wants to show search results, but there's a lot less video for it to show than actual search results. So if you search directly in YouTube, you'll get a better understanding of what you have an opportunity to say that others aren't saying.
Okay.
The other thing you should do is if you start typing in Google what your question is, Google is going to give you like what it automatically thinks is the next word that you're going to put in there. That's always based on the search volume or your history. If you've never searched it before, it's only going to be based on your search volume. And that will give you a good understanding of what the audience is searching for as that question. That should be the title of the video that you create. And then when you create the video, it will be more likely for it to show up if you have things like transcripts, descriptions, and specifically really good content that goes along with it.
Yeah.
Now, if I use that mode in Google, would that eliminate my prior searches to make it a little bit more effective?
Yeah, like if you go incognito and try and get search results that way, that's definitely a good way to do it. Ed, Rob, you guys want to add anything on the video side of things for that?
Yeah, so to add in a little bit to what you were saying, definitely have captioning. So SRT files, either through YouTube or Facebook, you can add in captioning. If people are scrolling through their phone or watching it in a place where they can't have the audio on, having the captioning is so important in order to get people to actually start to read it. And then if it's something that they want to watch more of, they can click in and see more of it. Or if they might watch the whole video with captioning on if they're truly in an environment where they cannot have the sound on. But if somebody just scrolls through and the video is there and there's no captioning, they really don't have enough of a basis to stay and watch the rest of the video. The other big thing is keeping it short. You have a lot that you can talk about. Break it up into chunks that work over either a series of short videos for Facebook, for Instagram, for YouTube. But if you try and have like a 6-minute video, you're going to lose people right off the bat. So have it short, have it concise, and give them enough value that they would want to learn more, to either pick up the phone to call you or watch more videos or visit your website.
Okay. And how is the captioning thing? Does it do it automatically pretty well? Do you have to go in and try to edit it?
So
I did my first video the other day and I saw that and I kept it off because it was just like an announcement type thing.
Yeah, so on Facebook, you can, there is an auto caption, button that you can press, and then you can go in and modify it. So it's not set in stone, but you will notice that like it's not the best. It has a lot of trouble. Like you'll have to go in and really modify it, at least from what we've seen. There's also other services out there like rev.com where you can basically upload the video and they'll send back a transcription. And if you put it into the right format, SRT file, you can then upload it directly to YouTube or to Facebook or wherever you're putting, the video. So that's $1.25 a minute for the transcription at rev.com. So we use that a lot of times for our clients where we might be doing a 2-hour video and they need a transcription so they can pull out like the best bits that they want to use in their final video. And then and then it alleviates having to like upload all the raw video content to the client. They can actually go through the transcript and figure out what the story is that they want to tell. But for your purposes, it's a matter of putting the video up to rev.com, and they'll send you back a transcription that you can then upload with your video when you post it live, or
Okay.
Live.
Okay.
I'd like to add one more thing to that, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Hi. Yeah, so rev.com is awesome. They also just rolled out a new version where it's 25 cents a minute and it's ready in 5 minutes. It's a draft. It will require more editing, but I've compared that version to their full $1.25 several hour delivery time offering, and there's really not a heck of a lot of difference in the quality. So I would say go for the fast and the cheap, and just, you know, you'll have to edit and stuff, but you have to do that anyway. Even their full service is not perfect. And then the other thing I want to recommend for video, I think you said YouTube, which means horizontal screen. So if you're using a webcam, you'll be fine. But if you're using your phone, make sure you're turning it horizontally. Same for Facebook. But if you're using Instagram or Instagram Live or IGTV, you need it to be vertical. I've seen a lot of people put vertical stuff on YouTube and horizontal stuff on Instagram, and it does not look professional. And it's also really hard to see, especially if you're on a phone watching it. The video will literally be like tiny itty bitty. You can't even see what's going on. So something you can do if you want to get super fancy is stick your phone in one of those little holders that goes on a tabletop tripod. Yes, one of those, with a ring light if you have one, or just good lighting in general. But yeah, one of those, and then have your webcam going on your desktop at the same time so that you can record on both horizontal and vertical, and you can even live stream to 2 different platforms at the same time that way.
Oh, wow.
And then definitely get the video transcribed, whether you're using the quick and dirty or the slightly better but still not perfect rev.com.
How do the two pair? Just, I can do some research, but I wrote down SRT file. That was the first time I ever heard of that. I wrote down rev.com, rev.com.
Yeah, REV. I don't know how to do the SRT file thing, but what I was going to say with the transcription, turn it into a blog post or a LinkedIn post as well. And on your blog, on your website, blog post, and then embed the video so that you're sending traffic back to YouTube when people watch the video from your site, which YouTube really likes, and then put a link to your blog post in the YouTube description as well, and say, you know, for more information or the full show notes, come on over to the website. And YouTube and Google like when people send traffic back and forth. So
cool, thank you.
All I have to say about that.
Another thing, just to be aware of when you are filming stuff like that is, you know, what your background looks like, how well you're lit, all of that. You know, I have my virtual background right now. Let me see if I can change it. But let me see. So I am sitting facing a window, so the light is actually coming onto my face pretty evenly, and I have a little bit of diffusion up on the window, just from like a pretty like thin, you know, type of blind. So that kind of stuff. I mean, I know we're probably getting a little bit too technical on it, but it does make a difference. Like for instance, right now, just looking, like your background's pretty well lit, but your face is a little bit darker. So just keeping those things in mind, you know, does make a huge difference. I'm definitely able and willing to chat with you offline about any other things that you might need in terms of lighting, sound, any of that.
Cool thing is my wife's a photographer. She has some really nice lights if I can get my hands on them when she doesn't need them right now.
There you go.
And I thought about ordering them, and then I heard that the Amazon stopped shipping non-essential stuff. So I'm like, well, the light's got to wait. I used to be a radio, television, film major in college. So that's part of my problem, is it's not good enough for me.
I'm sorry, guys. I have to hop off.
Okay.
But it was a pleasure meeting and talking with you. I'll talk with you more soon.
Yeah,
all right,
James,
thank
I
you.
would say on the good enough thing, man, just get something going. Start somewhere. You know, put something out, and you'll learn from it. You'll get better each one you go.
Exactly.
The only thing I would say is I can send this presentation. If anybody wants to email me, you can just email me at ben@creativemms.com. I will send you this deck. The things I would say to focus on are just remember who you're talking to, remember where you're going to put it. Like Rachel said, if it's on YouTube, remember orientation, think about where you're going to be active, and then plan more than just the first one, but do the first one, write your series of questions and kind of the user path of what questions and journey they're going to have, and then just start somewhere. But I do think there's going to be a massive amount of content created and put up over the next couple of weeks, no doubt. It's going to be hard to sift through the noise. So the more you can just focus on getting something out that reaches to specific audience, the better you're going to be.
One last question. Would you recommend paying to boost the videos on Facebook? And is there any approach that you would do that? With insurance, I was thinking about keeping it very, very local and boosting it potentially, but I'm not sure if that's...
I do not have enough time to answer that question the way I probably would truly want to answer it. I would say it all depends. I mean, Jennifer, you want to can you do that in a short way?
I don't know if I can do it in a short way. Can you, what exactly are you trying to do?
Basically, I was going to do short, helpful videos. I was somewhere between 2 to 4 minutes. I'm hoping it doesn't go over 4 minutes. Basically, tips on how to, address your insurance. Answer particular questions. How to shop for insurance. How to differences between liability and stuff like that. But basically, short videos about insurance that are helpful to the people. And then obviously leaving some information about me. So if they appreciate that and want more questions answered, they can contact me directly.
Yeah, so if you're putting that on a YouTube channel, number one, if you don't already have a YouTube channel, or if you do have one, the best thing to do is make sure that your YouTube channel is set up properly. So look at the back end at settings, make sure you have your website located there somewhere, make sure your contact information is there, make sure there's, for lack of a better word, some kind of description of what your company does that's not just a repetitive of, what's on your website. So make sure that is, full to go, because that's also something that people do when they do searches. I'm sure you've heard this before, but YouTube is the #2 searched channel in the world next to Google. So you have to treat what you're doing in YouTube like what you do when you're, writing optimized content for a blog or for a website page or something of that nature, to make sure, like Ben said, when you go into an incognito window and you start typing in a title and you start typing in words, that these are things that people are already looking for. So I would recommend that. I did have a comment to your earlier question about rev.com. It's really easy to actually insert an SRT file. When you do get the SRT file from something like rev.com, which we use for our social posts, it gives you time management as to when each comment is being made and where it actually goes in the video. So you basically take the SRT file and the original MP4 file and you merge the two together. So it's actually a quite simple process if you're familiar with, using an MP4, and it's kind of like taking the two. I'm sure there's something we can research online. I don't know the exact steps, but it's taking the two files and merging them as one.
Okay.
Did that help at all?
I'm going to have to do some homework. MP4 merging.
Just the only thing I would
I'm not a paper guy, so I've got 50,000 little Post-its here. I'm hoping I got them in some sort of sensible order.
I can see you writing them.
James, the only thing to your question about boosting a post, the only advice I would give is Facebook and Google love when you just are trying to just throw them dollars to boost stuff. Yeah. And they will suck those dollars up and spit them out really quickly and not necessarily deliver a ton of results unless you do a good job of profiling who it is that you're targeting and what you're expecting out of the ad.
And I don't know if I'd boost them right away, to be honest with you. Try it in your organic channels.
Yeah.
Try tagging certain things, using hashtags on certain channels. If you're doing it in LinkedIn, for example, and you want to hashtag some trending things or some topics that people are following, not hashtag COVID-19 by any chance, because that's just jumping on a bandwagon. However,
and sorry to cut you off, Jennifer, but Rachel, what you said about blog posts, content, video, and merging those together, I would do that and then email, like add the email component of that blog post and that video through to your audience, to people that you know, and just ask them to share it with other people. Because that is like social just by its very like nature, cost you nothing. And the best referral source is going to be somebody you already work with.
Okay.
Plus you want to build following on that channel if YouTube's going to be your channel. So you want to stick to that one and just continue to focus on it, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if there was like a, you know, a quick hit. I didn't want to go boosting every single video I did, but I wasn't sure if the first 5 or 10, if it would be a good idea or a bad idea. So I didn't want to go wasting money, but at the same time, if it was something that I could, there'd be value in it, I'd be glad to throw a couple bucks at it, you know?
Yep.
Okay, well, I appreciate your answer.
It's also good to stick with organic to start with and to see what kind of engagement you get that way. And if you're finding that you're getting a lot of engagement organically, then it might be valuable to boost it, because you'll probably get similar kind of engagement if you boost it.
Okay.
To audiences that are not following you already.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Cool. Anybody have any other questions? I do have a couple minutes if we still have any more. All right. Well, thank you guys for the time. Appreciate it. Best of luck, and hopefully you're not too pent up with isolation and get out and get some walks in.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Ben.
Thank you.
Bye.